Hey everybody, welcome back to the Budget Bladesman, and the blade we're going to be looking at today is a cold steel, and as you can see, it's the cold steel Rajah 3. So let's open this up and take a look. Get this guy out. Let's pop him open, and let's go over our blade specs. So we're looking at an overall length of 8.375 inches, a blade length of 3.5 inches, and this is definitely a little bit on the thicker side at 0.16, and you can see that that's some very thick blade on that one. And this is AUS 10A steel. So if we flip that up right there, you can see AUS 10A, and it is made in Taiwan. We'll put that back down. So we're looking at, this is definitely a different blade style as well. As you can see, it's the kukri style blade. And we are looking at a full flat ground blade, and it needs that stonewash. We bring that in here, you can kind of see that stonewash finish there. It is a polymer handle, and we are looking at the tried and true triad lock. You can see there that's a big stiff lock that was designed by Andrew Demko, and this is a Demko designed knife. And you can see it's tip up only, and it is lefty and or righty and lefty. And what they do, as you can see, the clip is angled, so of course this pocket clip isn't going to work on this side. So what they do is they actually give you hardware, as you can see, for both sides. So this, as you can see, go on the left side and angles that way, and the right side angles that way. And as a thumb disc, as you can see here, so you can actually kind of also wave this if you're good enough to pull that out of the pocket. I don't think we'll be able to demonstrate it on camera, but we'll give it a shot later. Like I said, this is an Andrew Demko design. It is made in Taiwan. We're looking at about 4.4 ounces on this. All right, so let's bring out our comparison blades. So the first one on the table is a K-bar dozer, and as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger than the dozer here. We put the dozer over the top of it. Of course, it has that blade shape, so it's going to make some difference too. But even if we go sharpen blade length, it goes a little bit closer to that. But overall blade length, let's see if we get it right about there. You can see there's just a little bit different. But if we go blade length, there's definitely more. And then we'll pull out our Gerber flat iron. And you can see overall that's a little bit closer in comparison, but the Gerber flat iron is still a little bit smaller. You can see that's pretty close. But we go blade length, it's actually pretty close as well. It's because that overall blade length is what makes the difference, plus the angle of the blade on that. So we'll close this up. And the flat iron tends to be a little bit thicker of a blade, so we look at here, we pull this up, you can see that the Rajah here is even thicker than that, or pretty close to it. And you're talking about a different blade grind as well. You can see how that works out. And then if we do this, you can see how that grind is. So it's a fairly thick blade stock. Alright, so we'll get those out of the way. We'll close this up and we'll pull out the shorts so you can kind of see how it works in those. Alright, so here are our shorts slash stand-in for the khakis. So we'll get these in. And the one thing about, and I actually did do a little bit of modification, you can kind of see that the pocket clip sticks up just a little bit. I know some people, I actually bent this a little bit to get it to work for me. I know some people, what they do is they sand underneath that spot for this, because cold steel is what they're known for. One of the things they're known for is they're having super tight pocket clips. So I kind of bent mine a little bit. I will say the one bad thing though is that this sometimes, this end here kind of snags on things. So I will say that's kind of the bad part. I think even though if it was like that, it would still catch on some stuff. I mean, you can see it's not much that I bent it out. But that is just a FYI for you guys. It can be kind of a pocket destroyer. I mean, most cold steels, unfortunately, that's just the way they are, just because of the grippiness of the handles. And you can definitely see, I mean, you're going to definitely see there's a knife there. There's no hiding that. It's just not a very deep ride pocket clip. And you do have a lanyard holding well as well. And because of the blade shape, it is going to take up a lot more. You can kind of see it takes up a lot more room in the pocket. It's just a very wide knife. So this is one I would say it's more for, definitely for jeans. You can see it takes up quite a bit of that pocket there. It's not very long, but it's very wide in the pocket. So will have trouble getting stuff in and out of that. I would suggest, something smaller if you're going to stick anything else in there. You can kind of see it grabs really hard. And like I said, this clip's been modified, so it's, bent out a little bit, just so it's easier to get in and out of the pocket. It's just the texture, which is good. I mean, you definitely get a good grip on this, but it will definitely destroy your pockets, unless you do some sort of a modification, either like I've done here and bend out the clip a little bit, or like I said, you could always sand underneath this contact spot right there and kind of smooth it out. Overall, it is a good knife, though. It's very unique, and that's kind of why I liked it. I don't think I can. So what we'll do is we'll kind of just show it. So what happens is when you do the wave feature, it catches the pocket as it comes out, kind of like that, and pops it open. It's a little bit harder to do it with khakis. With jeans, it's definitely a lot easier, because what it does is just, it catches your pocket like that, and just as you're pulling, it pulls it out like that. So you're just pulling the handle. It is kind of a cool thing. Anytime you have a disc type knife, a disc type opener, that's what it's good for. Sometimes it's actually what it's meant for. But it is a pretty smooth knife. It opens and closes pretty easy compared to some of the other cold steels. Like I said, it is a unique blade style too, which is kind of why I like. I mean, you're not going to find a lot of knives that look like this. This would definitely has more of a tactical feel. It does cut pretty well, even though it is kind of a funky blade shape. I will say you kind of have to angle things in, and it's almost two cutting areas, because of course that the original kukris are made kind of more for like field work, or cutting down vegetation. I would say it's more of a cutting style. I mean, I know kukris are actually more of a fighting knife, but that angle is more of a cut like that than your normal cut. So it is kind of a cool knife. It is something different. If you want something kind of unique, this might be your jam. I didn't talk about the price. So you're looking for this guy, you're looking about $60 to $75 for these, depending on where you go. It's like I said, 10A is a really good material, so you're not going to go wrong with that. Cold Steel's Triadlock's really good, so this would be a good, sturdy field knife, on the field or wherever you may be. This is really a good sturdy knife for that sort of work. Basically, any cold steel that has a Triadlock is going to be good for that sort of stuff. All right, guys. So thanks for coming by, and check you next time.